Alright, so I'm going to be doing another video on James Micheal Shannon.
Cash at me.
You should cash at me. Anyway, you should cash at me.
I need like a few $100s so I can go get me a new phone.
Cash at me. Cash at me some money.
Cash at me some money. Cash at me some money.
Here's my cash app.
I need some more money.
The best shortest explanation that I could use to describe James would be homeless e-beggar who hasn't worked a job in 13 years, and he's okay with not working as long as people pay him. What makes him special is the things he would ask money for. Examples like a room or a phone.
Cash at me some holiday spending money. I need like a few $100s so I can go get me a new phone.
I'm working on trying to get you my Amazon wish list sent to you. Send me $200. I'll go get a room right now. No money for me, huh? Need a cash at me. I need to get a new phone. I need about $200. Patrick, I need about $200. Go get a room. Cash at me, please.
I need you to cash at me.
He expects you to make that donation to the point where he doesn't even ask.
I need you to cash at me. Or Venmo me some money, please. I said please.
He's not as grateful as you'd think he would be either.
Still need a little bit more money. But thank everyone who has sent me money though. I do need a few more dollars. Just send what you can, and I'm thankful for everything. Y'all are just trolling me. You're not trying to help me do anything except make my life miserable.
And when you don't donate, he insults you.
Donating $200. When? Next year?
Fucking broke ass mother. I mean, well.
See, don't do that. See, you can't do that, James. And be asking for no cash. How you gonna call the people broke?
He used to take care of his mother for I think about a decade. I was actually done with this guy, but all of a sudden I was invited to this group. The last video I made about him, I mentioned the Shannonverse. These guys are a genuine hazard for James. These guys found James before I have, so they had more time to find out more about this guy. Except they've seen more of the videos that James has posted in the past, and some of the ones that he has removed. They found older videos of James when he was still with his mother and Tommy, his brother. And it's pretty much the same thing. They don't have a home, so they're out on the street. And I noticed one message in particular. They pointed out that James used to live in a tent out on the street with his family.
Front porch. Front yard. There's a tent that my mom, brother, and me slept in last night.
After his mom's death, that's pretty much what led to him being homeless. And unfortunately, the government took away his brother. He claims it was because of housing conditions. He doesn't have a home, so his brother just shouldn't be around him. The group confirmed that James's mother did receive disability checks, as well as Tommy. So it's not like they had completely no money, you know? He does receive food stamps as well.
Yeah, I do get food stamps, but that's not till the 13th. So, can you send me a little bit of money so I can go get something to eat? I get about close to $300 in food stamps, sometimes a little bit more.
And apparently he's had it for a while, so he's good on food. And from what I read here, he does share rooms with other people, other homeless people. But he never really mentions those times. He always talks about how he's out on the cold or he's just out on the street. But it doesn't stop him from asking you for money to get a room.
I need to get a room. Cash at me.
$75, something like that, or 80. I don't have the money to get a room. Holiday Inn's right down the street. I could walk to it, but that's gonna be like $100, $200 per night. You know, if I had the money, I'd go there. I don't know how much it is to stay at the Holiday Inn, but I'd love to go there because it's like I could walk to it. I wouldn't have to catch a bus or anything. I'd go there right now. I don't know. I take one day at a time. You know, I don't know what I would do after that.
I take it a day at a time. Haven't you said that like 3 years ago? You know, he's pretty slick with that. He went from 75 to 80 to 200 to, you know what? It's up to you how much you want to give me. You know, someone in the Shannonverse group called James out on that too. He had pulled up the time when James spent his brother's monthly check on really ridiculous stuff, to be honest. The check was apparently $1,200, and it's his brother's, not his. James saw that money and decided to spend it on staying a week at an expensive hotel. Well, fairly expensive, right? It was at a Holiday Inn's. Well, this dumbass doesn't know what inflation is because he complains about the prices and how everything is high nowadays. He really took this opportunity to record and vent out what he felt after spending all that money.
Yeah, I went to the extended stay, okay, for a week. That was on advice that the hospital nurse gave me. They're the ones that told me to go there.
So really he was regretting his choice spending that, and the only way he could try making up what he did is to blame it on something else. He would claim that the hospital he would go to advised him to go there and stay there for the week, and I think mid-sentence he starts realizing that that's a pretty stupid excuse.
Like $1,200, yeah. And then that's what my brother got or gets, and then they said that the room was $300 a week, but I paid it because we needed the room. Then I had to go get diapers. I had to get wipes. I had to get food. All that shit adds up. Okay, and that's where all the money went. So and that so to think that I did that shit on purpose, no, I did it on bad advice once again.
He then vents about how everyone is out of touch from reality because of how expensive everything is. But you could tell this was all one big fat smelly lie. This man really spent his brother's check on this, dude. That's crazy.
And to think that we go to a hotel or motel or whatever and stay there on $1,200 and they charge prices like that, it's just unrealistic. And just told me that they are out of touch with reality of prices nowadays. And given that he gets only a certain amount of money, okay, he's got limited income, and that's.
He also claimed that he would spend some of that money on the essentials, right? But I myself exposed James in that video where he's talking to Tommy and how he spent his money.
You want to keep struggling with me?
No.
Well, I'm not made out of money. I have no money. So
I don't have no money either.
Yeah, you do. All the money that we're spending on all this stuff is your money. Now, we went to Ruby Tuesdays. Yes, we shouldn't have probably done that. We should have probably just went somewhere cheaper or just got groceries.
Apparently went to Ruby Tuesdays, which is a restaurant or a bar or whatever. A place that somebody financially struggling shouldn't go to. I'm glad I'm not alone when I see how much of a liar he is. Like in my last video, I mentioned that he was incarcerated.
I was locked up for burglaries, and stuff like that. I wasn't locked up for no. But that was in early 1990.
But at the time when he was open to talk about his criminal endeavors, I think he realized that a burglary just doesn't sound as cool. So he started coming up with stories about certain people he's met in prison. Like the time he wanted to say he met John Gotti.
John Gotti, the only thing I can tell you about him was that I met when I got picked up in Charleston, South Carolina, because I got ratted out. I got picked up by U.S. Marshals. Well, I was already locked up, and so, but anyways, U.S. Marshals came there and got me, and they escorted me back to Texas. And
I guess he wasn't expecting to form a lie last second, even though his dumbass started the sentence.
I met the guy, or one of the guards said that he took John Gotti and his brother to prison. He said he was a New York gangster. And that's what he said about John Gotti. So I don't know, anything other than that. I've heard stories.
You're seeing what I mean, right? This man stutters so much. He just doesn't know how to form the lie. This all feels like an improv test. Or like when he said one of his inmates knew the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy. The only thing I can tell you about that was when I was at Huntsville. One of the inmates told me that Leatherface or the other guy was, down the hall, whatever. You go there and, see him in his cell smoking a cigarette or something like that. Or I'm not gonna. I didn't do it because I thought the guy was full of shit.
And it's never a story about him meeting the famous person. And it's for some reason never about good people either. I didn't meet John Gotti, but I met the person who's seen him. I didn't meet the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy, but I met the guy who's seen him. My mom met Hulk Hogan, and that's a true story. I bet you $10 you still don't care. And now there's another video of one of James's homeless friends. A homeless woman named Amanda doesn't like James. When Domo was just asking for Cash App money, James was trying to get a hug from Amanda. Amanda didn't want that. Afterwards, James starts talking about how homeless women are just terrible and how there's something wrong with them. Then right after proceeds to just e-beg.
Oh, I got a friend over here, y'all. It's my friend Amanda.
Oh, you can't give me
Kiss her. Send me a Cash App. Send me a Cash App and I'll do
Bring
it.
it in, Amanda.
Damn, she actually touchable.
I'm not really cool right now.
What's up? See that girl right there? She don't like talking to me. And that's because these homeless women are f***ed up. There's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? Oh, James Micheal Shannon too. cash at me some dough. So I'm just saying, most of these women out here are and I'm gonna tell you why. Because they on that ice and they act stupid for it. You know what I'm saying?
He says something's wrong with homeless women, but he's the same guy that was bringing in prostitutes while sharing a room with his sick mom and disabled brother. And he doesn't have money, so how do you think he's paying for it? And I don't think you realize how famous James is.
I don't mind being famous. I didn't ask to be famous. I didn't ask for anything.
Because he was doxxed. He was swatted recently.
The cops called on us because they said we were doing some heavy. We was not. And then the phone kept ringing, so much so that we had to take it off of the hook. It's a bunch of that we had to put up with last night.
I wonder who could have revealed his location.
And we all come to the conclusion it was the guy that works here that checked us in that called the cop. They called here and specifically asked for me. I was like, how would they know I was here in this room?
He believes it was someone within the motel staff, but he doesn't realize that he gave his own location out in one of his posts.
Got a room for the night. Room 108 on the first floor at Parkview Inn. Me, Tony, Orangeburg, and this other guy.
That's just what comes with fame, man. The begging and lying is enough to dislike the guy, right?
Do cash up thing 2 times a day. Cash up every other day because you doing it every day, they not gonna do it. Gonna keep, you need to cash up.
I need someone to cash out me some money so I can get a room. I can't just go to sleep. What's up here, Nation? Now, I need you to cash at me. There's my Venmo. You're not trying to help me do anything except make my life miserable.
But he took advantage of his sick mother and his disabled brother. In my last video, I suspected that his brother maybe could have been working, but the Shannonverse group confirmed that he never worked. He was always collecting disability checks. So why hasn't James been working? At the time, he would use the excuse that he would be taking care of them. And I guess it would be a valid excuse, you know?
Unemployed 13 years, but that was because I was looking at
I was looking at
you
my
have
mom.
to take care
of your mother and your brother Tommy, right?
But once his mother passed away and his brother was taken away, I think we could all agree that that's a perfect time to get a job. So why hasn't he? This is his excuse.
A lot of people you people fail to realize is that in order to have a job, a lot of places you do require a residency. And where am I going to wash my clothes? How am I going to get to and from work? I'm going to take a shower. You know, all these things come into play whenever you're working somewhere. Dumb.
His excuses are basically the excuse that anybody could use. You could just get your ID and find your birth certificate. You can wash your clothes once you have money. You could use a bus or walk there. You can shower when you have money. These are all incentives to get a job. He literally just wants someone to do everything for him, or he does nothing at all. But I already covered that even if he had a job, he would still beg for money.
You know, because if I had a job that was somewhere and I was making minimum wage, I don't know if I would be any better off than I am now, because I've seen people out here that are homeless that had jobs and they're still homeless. So how is that going to make my situation any better? It might put a little change in my pocket, but so what? You know? Oh, that's going to stop him from bumming money? No, it's not. I see fuckers doing that shit all the time, man. And they got jobs.
But some people believe that he was just chasing clout when his mother was sick, because there is a video where she had a seizure and he was recording her.
What the f*** is wrong with my mom?
And McFadden was not fooled. He's dropping into the zone 41 and blue. Look at him. He gets his hand up.
Instead of doing something about it, first thing that came to his mind is, let me record. And I don't want to hear that excuse that he was in shock. This man has gone to the hospital for smaller reasons. For vomiting or for whatever little thing it could be. Coughing even.
That's my IV. I threw up 3 times. Once in the library and twice at the hospital. Very, very sick. They ain't fed me or give me nothing to drink. I've been here since last night. Ever since I threw up at the library and then I came here. What do you mean ain't nothing wrong with me? I got IBs in me.
See, I got hooked up to this machine.
And the first thing he does in this very tragic, disastrous moment is record. I thought the worst thing he did was use his brother's disability checks on stupid things. This was legitimately hard to watch. But as I was watching, it did feel like he was only recording to gather enough content to post, for the reasons that you could assume. I don't know. I just wasn't expecting to gather all this information on this guy. When I encountered this dude, I was naive and young. But you should definitely take a look at this guy if you want your trust issues to get worse. Alright, I want to give a special shout out to the Shannonverse. Most specifically, Chevy Chase 7, Mr. Star Wars 1978, Charlie Chucklenuts, Okay, I'm Actually Her, Homer Gush, and Le Couleur du Soleil. But the real ones call him Sonny. I'm very grateful and very honored to be a part of this verse. As long as my heart keeps beating, I will protect and serve.